up, and then I'll just be a minute or so while I'm looking for something to talk about.
Okay.
Okay, so we can maybe go over like the best like pocket targets, but Pharah is a much better target to be with than a Widowmaker. She has much more consistent damage than Widowmaker. Widowmaker doesn't really get as much benefit from your damage boost as Pharah does. Also, Pharah needs a lot of support in a lot of cases.
Oh, I can't see her.
Okay, good res. Make sure you're keeping it. We'll talk about this a little bit afterwards, but keep your eyes open for potential reses. Like, for example, we didn't even really look when our Widowmaker died. We didn't even look around to see where and why she died and if we could get it. So, watch those deaths and see if you can go for them. Okay. There, so 2 of our teammates died. Don't be afraid to like kind of peek around the corner to get on top of them. I think we're a little bit slow to do that.
When is a good time to use Mercy out?
Really the same time the same time to use most other ults. And that is start of the fight is best, mid fight's okay, late fight's situational. In between fights is rare. Alright, I'm actually gonna swap over to in-game in a second here. And stop watching your stream.
No one can hide from my sight. Heroes never die.
Welcome to Circuit Royale.
Okay, cool. I'm selecting you from in-game now.
Taking damage.
At least whenever it decides to load in.
10 seconds remaining.
Minutes. Need some assistance? Being done.
Alright. Cool, cool. So why don't we go over a couple different things here before you hop into another game. All right. You can stop streaming, by the way, and then I'm gonna
Okay.
stream here so we can just go over a few things. So last time we didn't go over Mercy at all, so let's go over a couple Mercy things. All right. So,
Don't worry, I'll be
with
right
Mercy,
behind
first
you.
thing we were talking about before is just make sure you keep your pain.
Make sure that doesn't scuff.
Okay.
Let me take a look. I can fix that. Feeling more powerful? Need some assistance?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same concept, right? Just wasting a lot of your time. So very easy thing to do is once you get somebody full HP, right? We heal them up to full. We just immediately swap to damage boost and just stay on damage boost for them unless they need it again, and then we swap back to damage boost immediately. You can know that they're full HP by watching their health bar, by watching the health bar underneath your crosshair, or even notice like if we turn the volume up really loud here. When you get them to full HP, there's gonna be a little ding sound, right? When they're all the way full. So let's let them take some damage. Right, they have the little ding. So a lot of different ways that you know that they get to full HP, and just want to kind of get in the habit of swapping the damage boost immediately upon them getting the full HP. Then look around for something else to do. You know, if you don't need to. We talked about pocket targets before. I talked about like Pharah's a little bit better than Widowmaker is. Generally speaking, there are better targets than others, and these are kind of like default targets. It's a really good way to think about pocket targets, right? These are the people that you're defaulting back to anytime there's not anything else happening. So if everybody else is fine, you don't need to heal or res or anything like that, then you default back to that pocket target, right? Now, who are like just out of curiosity, who are some of the like best pocket targets to go for?
Farah, Ash.
Yep, they're pretty good. Far is probably one of the best.
I'm just thinking about because I've played when we've done our scrims before,
Mm-hmm.
and we've done like Hanzo, Ash.
Mm-hmm.
So
Gotcha. Hans is a little bit more like okay. Generally speaking, DPS are the best characters for you to pocket. Occasionally like a tank, maybe if they're in an ult. Also, you want to be thinking about your potential to pocket abilities and ultimates. So, for example, Hog, I wouldn't really pocket a Hog if he's just like running around doing, whatever he's doing. But if he lands a hook, probably want to damage boost him for a second because you can damage boost him while he gets that headshot damage in and almost secure a kill, right? Or if he's ulting, maybe you can damage boost him so he gets more value out of his ult, right? Kind of same thing for like a character like Genji. Probably not great or fantastic to just like damage boost him as he's running around, but damage boosting him when he has his ultimate is going to be incredibly valuable because it changes the breakpoints of his ultimate, and things like that. So Ash, great. Bastion is really powerful at the moment. Unless what is this patch that they just sent through? Was it like actual patch, or is it just like
I
bug
don't.
fixes?
I think they were just fixing stuff.
Okay, so Bastion super powerful at the moment, right? Mercy
Yeah.
goes fantastic with him. Kree's alright, Echo alright, Genji great with his ult, Hanzo alright, Junkrat pretty solid, pretty good. Mei, not great. Pharah, phenomenal. Reaper, great at depending on his range, right? Sojourn, very very good. Soldier, very good. Sombra, meh. Symmetra, solid. Torbjorn, okay, decent. Tracer, not so hot. Widowmaker, not so hot. Like, or like they're okay, just not like usually the best. There's a lot of other characters that you could be going for over them in a lot of these cases. Gotcha. Are you familiar with how to... I don't think I saw it too much. Are you familiar with how to... Or maybe it's just I was having a brain fart and like had a blurry stream that I was looking at. Are you familiar with how to super jump on Mercy yet?
I believe so.
I believe so. How would you go about doing it?
That is when you fly to the person, then jump after.
Well, jumping would be going past them.
Okay.
Would be this, right? And jump. I don't even know if there's like a term for this. If it's extended flight, I don't know. But doing this. Are you familiar? Have you seen that one before?
Kinda, but when I was learning it, it was a bit like, I don't know. It was kind of complicated, so you can't explain it to me again. No, yeah, like when I was learning it, it was like you have to look in this direction to go this way, and I was like, oh, okay.
The person. So you can press shift and you just go flying up in the air. Flying for. So no flying. You see that bar? It's too early. Just like here, notice I don't go very high. Filled, but the longer I fly, the higher I'll fly,
Yeah.
and then shift, and then you go up and I can look up in the air, launch me up like that. I'd say that's like a little bit more advanced.
I'll have you in top condition.
No. Mhm.
The backspace key, and you actually launch it. It's gonna be handy for avoiding danger and specific kind of slingshot yourself backwards. Now they actually made it slower. It used to be quicker, and they actually added a little bit of a how far back can I go? Rounds this time. So that's another like kind of an advanced tech that you can use on that because of how they slowed down. Not before where I can press spacebar to go somewhere. You do that. So spacebar, I can do that sideways, backwards.
Yeah.
Cool.
Volltreffer.
Your flight. Okay, stop.
Let me fix you up.
Or you can even, I mean, you just back. So
Deiner Seite.
No.
No. Okay. So are you familiar with what beam sensitivity and guardian angel sensitivity are?
No.
No. So you basically think of it like as a margin of error. So when this is really low, it means that you will have to look directly at the person for your beam to register on them. But when it's really high, it's going to be super lenient and kind of just go on them, even if you're not really looking in their general direction. So, usually for these sensitivities, I recommend finding a more middle ground. So, I'd say usually like 50 to 80 is a better range, depending on your comfortability with your aim. And then also it kind of depends on like what ability we're talking about as well. So for Mercy Beam, I'd say somewhere between like 50 to 80 is best because you want to be able to, for example, like pick somebody out in a crowd, right? Like if there's like people right next to each other, notice how I'm looking at that, look which bot I'm looking at here with my crosshair, but who's getting the beam right now,
Yeah.
right? So that means that like, whereas if we ended up changing that, let's say we put this down at 10%, oh, that didn't change. Oh, that didn't change it at all there. Interesting. Let's see. Okay, so if we do that, let's see what happens if I put this up to 100. Huh, I don't know why it's not changing that. That's interesting. Does not seem to be adjusting. Beam sensitivity. I don't know why I would be doing that.
Maybe it's just the angle. It's
Yeah.
really wide.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Oh, wait, maybe yeah. Sorry, actually I was going off of that, but that's actually the flight. Okay, wait. So let's see. So you can see it's going to them. Okay, so right now it's going to this guy. Let's do this guy right here. All right. Sorry, this is really not necessary at all. I'm wasting our time right now. So I'm just like
It's
fiddling
okay.
fiddling
I
around with
never
it.
really
Yeah.
look at settings.
Yeah,
So
it's okay. So I'd recommend probably adjusting this down, and then this applies to a lot of characters. So Mercy, you have your flight, which you can probably have a little bit higher. You also have Ana Nano Boost. You have Brig's armor packs. You have Kiriko's teleport and her Afudas. You have Mercy with her ability of Zen with his orbs, Lifeweaver with his primary healing. So you have a lot of different characters, especially supports that this applies to. So I'd recommend probably going through and adjusting some of those. That makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah. So then let's see. Next thing here. Have you adjusted Guardian Angel target priority at all?
No.
No. So this one I would recommend having prefer facing target. This is actually a pretty important setting to change. Prefer facing target. So prefer target facing target only. Essentially, facing target only would mean that you fly to who you're looking at. So if I'm healing this person and I'm looking at this person, I fly
Mhm.
Feeling better yet?
and I'm beaming this way. Um, I fly,
Fire you.
then I fly to the person I'm beaming.
Topping you up. Help me.
They're outside
Activating
while
healing.
I'm not looking at them.
Mhm.
Heroes never die.
City of who you're trying to.
Valkyrie justice. My duty is being done.
Yes. I'm in the queue.
Cool, cool.
Where do I get to those settings from?
Settings.
For the
You
heroes.
go options, controls, and then right hand side it says change hero.
Okay. Okay, I'm in a game.
Cool. I am spectating. I don't know how or who, but somebody lost a key to my keyboard, and it's
Oh.
giving me a pet peeve.
Not to your taste. They make killing too simple.
Five, four, three, two, one. Initial flashpoint. Mark it.
They're already getting into the GG easy, and the game hasn't even started.
Flashpoint unlocks in 10 seconds. Enemy located. Flashpoint unlocked.
So if you're trying to heal someone around the corner, you can always potentially try to use the nade to do that, since it does have like a splash aura, right? Radius around it. Uh-oh.
Right.
Yeah, so they're kind of dropped off into a low ground position, so maybe not the best positioning to be in. Which had and then also you got stuck on something, obviously.
Come over. Watch here. Stand up straight.
Enemy located.
Okay. Last time did we talk about ranging for your scope? Oh, sorry, my bad. Last time did we talk
A
about
little bit, yeah, yeah.
ranging for your scope versus unscoped? A little bit or in depth?
Kinda in depth.
Kind of in depth. Okay.
Told me how to like quick scope and stuff.
Okay. Did I tell you what ranges you want to be using unscoped shots and scope shots at?
I think so.
Think so? Okay, well we can review that real quick. But we were just trying to take some unscoped shots from pretty far away there. And then that just led to missed shots. Yep. Yep, and then just a reminder, at least presuming we talked about it, with your abilities of just like take your time, put thought into how you're using like your nade, for example. Don't rush it. There, you know, like using it for the self healing might be more important than getting the anti off in a dangerous situation like that. Also, once again, we kind of rushed the sleep, so we're turning around and we're sleeping like immediately. where in a lot of cases, if somebody gets on top of you, you're not dead immediately, right? You have a couple seconds to work with. So take that time to line up the shot, and then that way you're going to be much, much better off.
I don't know this map very well.
Not so fast. Thanks for the help.
Did we talk about how to throw nades at a distance? That scope tech?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, you know, here when we're poking, that could just be like a good time to just be chucking in a nade.
Oh.
Uh-oh. It's more important that you heal your Zarya, or sorry, your not Zarya, your Junker Queen, who you just nanoed, who's 1 HP, than it is to kind of like shoot at the Brahmatra on top of you. So just put more emphasis on healing when healing is needed than on damaging in a lot of cases, just because it's important to keep that person alive, right? Additionally, you just gotta be careful about about nanoing someone who's like critical HP and is purple, right? Because then they could just die immediately after they get the nano, and it's not actually gonna give them any of the healing. So waiting an extra second is gonna be better. Okay, good nade. Okay. Make sure you're keeping line of sight on your teammates. Yep. Very nice. There we were just like running really far backwards so nobody was really looking at us or shooting at us, right? Which is just a big no-no, right? You got to be able to see your teammates. That's a very important thing with your positioning. You got to be able to see so you can heal. So unless you have a reason to be backing up, don't back up where you can't see your teammates. You also, I think you, firstly, nobody was looking at you, and secondly, you had the Symmetra wall up, right? Which was also protecting you.
Flashpoint unlocks in 10 seconds. Disrupting.
Very good sleep. Okay, I think in general, just make sure you're not holding on to your ultimate. Ults that aren't used don't get any value, right? So if we're going fights without using ultimates, then we are ending up the game using, you know, 2, 3 less ultimates in total, right? So more ultimates is usually gonna be better. Look to use them, roughly speaking, every fight you get them. That's not an end-all be-all statement, but just most of the time you get it, you want to be using it. Just once again, when the fight begins is the best time for those. Pretty decent timing. I think your Sojourn was just kind of didn't use it right. I think she like slid backwards on accident. But it's good that you noticed that she had her ultimate. Yeah.
Palace lost. Next, flashpoint, garden. Flashpoint unlocks in 10 seconds.
Watch your teammates. There you go. Also, once again, could be like during these poke phases, just be chucking in nades from a distance. Okay, very nice.
Persistence is always rewarded.
Hello there.
Moragwitch.
The universe is singing to me.
Enemy in sight.
With the Q or your
Yeah, with the old charge. Yeah, yep, exactly. Just scoping in and then doing that. Okay, good sleep.
how did
Unfortunate. Alright, so that's unfortunate that Sigma, didn't touch point. At the same time, make sure that you're just watching, kind of running out into the open, because I think that's what got us killed there. It's just that we just like walked straight into their team. So you just gotta be careful about getting too close to the fight like that.
Over there.
Flashpoint unlocks in
Over
10
here.
seconds.
Acknowledged.
Teleporter taking shape.
Over here.
Flashpoint unlocked.
Taking hold of the objective.
Actuating the barrier. What is that melody?
Go time.
Okay, very nice. Reminder, you're not trying to throw your nades at people, you're trying to throw nades at the ground, right? Because if you throw it at him and it misses, it goes sailing past him. But if you throw it at the ground, then it gets a giant splash radius. People can't body block it. Also, sometimes we're like chucking in a nade really far when like there's somebody on top of you. And then remember, you can get that splash and heal yourself at the same time, right? So if Ramatra's on top of you, throw it at both of your feet, and then you can get heal and naded. Okay. Teammates kind of left your line of sight, so make sure you're trying to like go stay in their line of sight too. Okay. What could you have done there to try to help stay alive?
Throw my nade at myself
Yep.
instead, and that
Self-heal
double.
nade. Also miss sleep. I think there's also like a little bit of time where we kind of just like sat in his damage as well. Right, so maybe like getting up and moving around instead of hard scoping in can be helpful there. Because remember that if you're just sitting there hard scoping, it's gonna make it very easy for him to shoot at you. Okay. Let's go over a little bit more. Alright, so ranging. Right. So last time we talked about quick scoping, right? Let's talk about all three. Unscope, right? You maintain visibility and movement. It's a quick it's also a projectile shot, right? Therefore, it's not really something you want to be doing at a distance, because over at a distance, well, it's a projectile, so therefore it's just moving slower. It's by the time it gets there, they've already moved out of the way. It's a lot less fit for a long distance because it's going to be less accurate in a lot of cases, right? Whereas everything behind scoping makes it good for ranges. Scoping means that you slow down your movement, better for ranges. It slows down your sensitivity, better for ranges. It makes it an instant shot, right? Hit scan shot, that's better for ranges. Everything, and it also zooms you in and gets you closer, so bigger target that you're shooting at, right? That makes it easier for you to land your shots. All of which make it better for ranges. So I think a lot of times what I'm noticing is that you're unscoping from too far away. So generally speaking, it's going to be about, depending on your preferences and whatnot you're working with. And if
I'm no easy mark.
Yep. And then when do you use quick scopes?
That must sting. Rest up.
What are situations that
If you're getting pressured.
أنا ما حدش يقدر عليا.
Nade, you already got that tech down.
No recovering.
No.
Close your eyes.
Okay. Looking.
Sleep tight.
Right. You just like throw in a random flick out of nowhere, and then it just ends up throwing off the shot. So just be careful about that. Flick when it's needed, don't flick when it's not needed, and just be conscious.
Yeah.
صوت for your wounds. قضينا على العدو كمان.
No.
No, so with your abilities, right? They're very important. It's as Ana, a lot of your abilities is how you can leave an impact in your games, right? It's how you get a lot of value in your games. So we want to be get value out of them. Your nade, for example, right, which is something you want to be using aggressively a lot of the time. If you land a big fat, like, 4 or 5 man anti-nade, in a lot of cases that can be even more powerful than your nano boost, and that's an ability on a cooldown. Now, that's not happening all the time, but it just goes to show that it's still a pretty powerful ability, and we want to be getting value out of your abilities. Your sleep can literally shut down other ultimates, which is just as powerful, if not more powerful than your ultimate also, right? So as Ana, you have potentially 2 extra ults on a cooldown, right? Potentially. Not that that's happening all the time, but you have really valuable abilities, and if we're not really utilizing them well, then we're not getting as much value. So, one way to do this better is to not rush them. So a lot of times in your gameplay, it looks like, okay, we're going heal, 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 and then nade, and then heal, heal, heal.
The Eye of Horus watches over you. No recovering.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Any questions on anything so far?
I don't think so.
All right, cool. We got like 4 more minutes, so I'm trying to think if we want to try to find something else to talk about in the meanwhile, because I don't think that's enough time for a game.
You can give me some tips on Brig because I just started learning her.
Cool. Have we talked? I don't think we talked about Brig yet, have we?
No.
No. Okay. So basics with Brig. Make sure your whip shot. So your whip shot has a range of 20 meters. So that's here. Your whip shot.
Shields under fire.
Give
I'll cover you.
Use
That's how you do it.
using.
Yo, back get it. Jiantu. Shouldn't have come so close. Special delivery. Looking better already. Bracing shield. Shield's buckling.
Trying to think if there's anything else here. Was there anything else you're curious about with Brig?
I don't think so.
Okay. Your relative range to your teammates doesn't. Honestly, your teammates, it kind of depends on what comp you're on. A lot of times you can be with them. Try to, like, if they're on like a dot. Brig is the two comps Brig is best with is when you are working against a.
See ya. Let me help you with that. Little shot.
Like Reinhardt or Zarya or Orisa.
Goodbye.
Don't worry.
Or her different flight things, which I'm not gonna repeat. Is
I'm on fire.
Double
on Ultimate was the exact same
I
stuff.
will
Right?
not leave a broken world behind.
I don't know, probably lower is like maybe like lower end of a medium or higher end of a medium, higher end of a low to medium, something along those lines. It's a little bit lower than abilities. Ana abilities, sleep, don't randomly.
That must sting. Tango down. Take this.
One.
Nodding off. أنا ما حدش يقدر عليا. خلصنا على الهدف.
Damage boost as soon as they're full.
Right behind you. Volltreffer. I'm on fire.
Make sure you're using cover. Don't run out.
double
I'm here to help. Amplifying your power.
Mhm.
Now this is brain surgery. I'm at the height of my performance. You need urgent care. Heightening your capabilities.
double
Fully focused.
let's see, what would be number 2? A lot of the others were a little bit closer together. I guess let's say easier value one. Let's just say ult usage is number 2. Just get that out of the way because it's also easier to apply than the other ones. Hopefully, is the objective. It's less to apply, but it's gonna be pretty consistent value if we can get it. Number 3, we will put at your mechanics. Number 4, we'll put at your positioning. And then number 5, we'll put at your awareness. Because they're all pretty even, and then awareness is one of those things that's a little bit more difficult to work on. And then as you work on other things, you'll chip away at it as well.
I'm on fire.
Alright, any final questions about anything?
Nope.
Nope, okay, cool. I'll get you